dollars eating shrimp. $5 met some girls in Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they wouldn't bother, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me.
Knowledge to me.
Doing her work every night of the week. Plus she chillin' up at college with me.
College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 430. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey, or a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high, fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on, ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you, oh, let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride.
Okay.
What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim. Think when we fly, time's on our side. But look again, then it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin. Let's begin. Hey, you kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really, 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 really like.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm Papa T here on the platform of the #1 station in Connecticut, BCC TV, and we're here at JCT TV making it do what it do. I have today to my right, your left out there in TV land, none other than the outstanding assistant host, none other than Mr.
Francisco.
There you go.
Yup, it's great to be here. See, I was testing you.
Indeed. No, you.
Life is good.
But the thing is, today is a very important day, as in all days. But the thing is that we are in a situation globally. And I say globally because America truly is, regardless of what people think, the leader of all the world. And all of the world follows suit in whatever America does. And now you're starting to have folks that are saying enough is enough, and they want to break away. So it's causing catastrophe throughout the land, but it's actually fulfilling Matthew chapter 24 and 25, leading into Revelation. But with that being said, we're going to address the subject matter today of rationale and sincerity and see where it takes your mind, because without the proper mindset, you cannot make a sound decision. So with that being said, I'm going to toss that subject matter over into the lap of my co-host today, Mr. Cisco.
Hi, yes, thank you, Papa T. So, so with the subject matter today, folks, irrationale. So a lot of different things going on, because everyone has an entitled to an opinion, absolutely, because that's a form of expression. But at the same time, it ties with sincerity, because you got to be honest with yourself based upon reality and what's going on in today's world. So like in our local town, Waterbury in Connecticut, there was a lot of different events going on. So that's really good to keep people busy and out of trouble. So that this way we can understand and utilize the resources we have to becoming productive members of society. Nevertheless, but when you turn to irrationality, you always want to formulate opinions based off catastrophes and things are going on. Because aside from the awesome events, there was also Trump rallies and going based upon with the holiday today, Flag Day, which turns out to be the president's birthday. So there's a lot of different things going on in between, but you also gotta be real with yourself and understand the facts. Understanding between the differences of opinions, which goes back to rationalities. Because if you don't know the differences, then you're gonna be all over the place. So that's why you also have to be real and know the facts and understand and know how to separate yourself between positive and negative things to stay on the right track.
Okay. When you say positive and negative things, and you're talking about rationale and sincerity, how does it tie in? Because I noticed that you're on the path of tying in the two terms to equal a basic equation of balance, right? And of positivity, of course. But the thing is, I want to know, how do they tie in?
or they tie in, it's an expression like yin yang, good and evil. Like you won't know one without the other, and then once you formulate your own understanding, then you'll have then you can have an accurate opinion as opposed how they two tie in, and that goes back to learning right from wrong. Because with irrationality, you can always have an opinion, say what you want, but then if you don't know about being sincere and being honest with yourself as opposed to what you really want to do, then you're just going to be someone who just keeps talking and talking. But then you're not really formulating facts as opposed to really a strong message what you're trying to tell the public. Because you're all over the place. But how it ties in is that you're supposed to be sincere, and what's the point you're trying to get to people? And we want to spread positive reinforcement to have people be safe. And like as now we're starting summer vacation, have people go out, have fun with the activities, even with the carnival ending. Now Fulton Pool just opened today, and next week is Washington Pool. So now we're starting summer vacation, having people get out in the community, going back to the pools and having kids have fun again. So we would need to do it in a safe manner to have people stay away from crimes, criminal activity, and people enjoy themselves and things like that in a positive manner. But it starts with sincerity and being honest with yourself. And knowing about what it is you want to do and being able to keep safe and, of course, paying attention to your surroundings, and everything else ties in together.
Okay. Sincerity, like real facts, real life,
Yes.
is you wearing an American flag as an outfit. That means that you're sincere, at least on face value, of your representation and your love for America, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's sincerity. Now, rationale is a whole nother aspect, right? It's how you logically perceive and project any situation, right?
Right, because with rationale, that's your own beliefs, your own character, your personality. But that's based off the topic and what you know and how you want to go about it. And then with sincerity, like we mentioned with America, I love America. I love the people. So with me, I always like to give back every chance I get. But that's just me.
And ladies and gentlemen, you see, this is not a facade because you've been doing this for how long? And it's a flag that goes, a literal flag that goes along with this outfit. I know I've recorded you doing many events in this outfit.
Oh, yeah, it's like now we got the Juneteenth holiday because Juneteenth is federal now, and then the 4th of July, Independence Day. And that represents our freedom, so you have the freedom to choose, and that's how we become independent, which is even with Memorial Day that just recently passed, our ancestors, our family, we all fought that together. So regardless of who knows who from where or how, we all stand together because that's how we fought for our freedom.
Okay.
Back to all the wars. But
with that being said, we're going to jump over to Love Sense, right, on another platform, and we'll be right back to continue this conversation and with the inclusion of the lovely Jatrice Scholar.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the platform of MNN Studios, the hottest network in Manhattan, New York, the Big Apple, y'all. And we're actually here with the lovely Jatrice Golly. Jatrice, how are you?
I'm feeling pretty good today.
Fantastic. I'm Papa T, and we're sitting here discussing the ideal topics of relationships and interactions on the love sense. And with that being said, today we're going to discuss something very interesting, Jatrice. We're going to be talking about the ideal relationship plus one. And what we think of or what we're attempting to express when we say plus one, the man and the woman, they have the ideal relationship. I mean, everything is Cinderella. I'm satisfied with another one of those fables from kindergarten, right? But anyway, and then and comes the child, right? The third and final part of completion,
Yep.
right? For the relationship and the continued growth of the family, right? And sometimes it continues to be ideal, and sometimes it becomes disastrous plus one. Now, with that being said, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to toss this in the air, let it drop in your lap, and then I want you to tell them what comes to mind.
So when you say that, at first I was really thinking about the first step, which is the fact of the relationship between the two. Because
Okay.
when it comes to ideal, yes, we're all having to think of the great moment at that time. Yeah, but that's when you're young.
Okay.
Not too many, to be honest. It's like a small percentage of kids who would be thinking about that type of thing, the whole fairy tale life. Where you have, when you get older, you're thinking in a different sense. You're thinking that you are looking for all the stuff that you want, all the qualities that you actually see in TVs and movies and stuff. When in reality, I'm not saying it's not possible, but the chances are low.
Okay.
So it's like it's kind of like you got to also match to that as well.
Match. So you're talking about matching energies.
Matching energies and I guess you could say personalities.
Gentlemen, we are back, and we've been joined with the lovely Jatrice Ghali, Jatrice, as well as
welcome.
returning none other than Mr. Francisco Ramos, a.k.a. Mr. Cisco. But with that being said, we started out on the subject matter of sincerity and rationale, and we just sort of skated a little bit on the ice, playing with it, but now we want to cut through the ice and, you know what I'm saying, get the blocking up the situation.
Yeah. So I actually see how they both come together.
Okay.
So when it comes to sincerity, it means having to actually be pure and honest with what it is, whether it's your feelings, it's what it is that you're going to do. And rationale is basically having to be logic and making sure that things actually make sense for you to be able to do the things that you need to do, or having to make reason of what is going on.
Okay.
And with those two together, they come together in a way where in effects of action. When you think about it, if you tend to do something, you tend to do it in a rational sense and also be sincere at the same time, because you're passionate.
Let me ask you this. When you say do it in a rational way, let's deal with that word first. How would you do anything in a rational way?
Okay, so it's having to plan of execution.
Plan of execution? And sincere, how would you describe that?
When doing so, it's having to come honest, coming from the heart when having to do so.
Okay. Mr. Cisco's going to say something. Okay. All right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But to add to that, so as far as sincere, it depends what you're doing, and you got to be honest with yourself. Because sometimes people could be tempted or manipulated, depending what the task or objective is that you're gonna do. So then going back to even something like integrity, which ties into it, which unfortunately even on a holiday today like Flag Day, a lot of people don't have integrity. They're not sincere. They're only doing it for say money or whatever, revenge, whatever the issue pertains to. But at the end of the day, that also ties to irrationality, because a lot of people can't separate between fact and opinion. That's basically what it is. Because going based off the facts on what happened, are you really honest with yourself? Are you, because irrationality, characteristics over your personality, are you doing it just because?
Patrice?
No. So I get that, because there's certain things that people tend to do. So you have people who follow, who some people call sheep, that tend to actually follow something without knowing or understanding the meaning behind it. but then you actually have somebody who actually throws in the rationality of what it is that they're following, and then decide whether or not it works. Like fashion.
Right. I got to put this out there. I mean, I know you were going into fashion because it's entertainment, right? But let's talk about today, right? And today as in yesterday to your viewing tonight, right? What rationale or sincerity is there in consolidating Flag Day, the President's birthday, and a parade? I want y'all to make something clear with me on those two terms and how it applies to today.
Okay, so Flag Day,
Yes.
People like to misconstrue the meanings of different holidays. Like even with Juneteenth coming up, how through the Biden administration, that just became federal. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that still don't agree with that, with all the discrimination and racism that still go on to this day. So to finish what I'm saying, but with irrationality and sincerity. So the point of Flag Day is just to honor America, honor our soldiers, and people who fought for our freedom, which is why we have freedom of speech and the Bill of Rights, and going back to how we stand as Americans. But nevertheless, and then with the parades, how as a community we're supposed to come together. That's where we're United States. But with so much division and separation going on, everybody likes to have irrationalities, and I want to pinpoint their way instead of just coming together.
So let me ask you this, Patrice, before you jump in.
Yep.
When you're walking in the street, right, and you're carrying a certain color, that's your flag. It represents the Crips, right? Another flag represents the Bloods, another one the folk, right? Another one the Latin Kings, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Street people, right? Now the thing is that flag right there that you're wearing, who actually fought for that flag right there? Who represents that flag right there? Who represents it?
The American people.
The American people? Who did they fight?
Yeah, us.
Who did they fight?
We fought against different countries.
No, the soldiers fought. Y'all didn't fight nothing.
The soldiers, our ancestors.
No, soldiers are still fighting. Still soldiers in America. Still being shipped to different places to handle different things. Where is their honor?
Unfortunately, it's not there. I'll admit.
Patrice?
Okay, so from what I understand, as of today, Flag Day, people may not know or understand that Flag Day is the day to actually honor our American flag and what's behind it. But at the same time, noticing that there's a protest that's going on, they don't realize that their protest kind of almost coincides to what Flag Day is. Their beliefs and representation coincides with that. They don't realize that until sometime today. Be like, oh, today's Flag Day. Oh, wait, what I'm doing today, having to be out there and protesting and having my signs up saying "No Kings." That's me having to represent what American
what that flag
stands for.
Freedom.
That there is very important, and we're going to leave you on that note. Jump over to some coverage from Laurie's Night with the Authors, and we'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Chumi, and I am the principal at the New York French American Charter School. The New York French American Charter School is the only
JC Television.
French
Papa T, what's going on, man? Always a pleasure seeing you, man. Yes.
One of many, and I just want you to tell these folks what it is, who it is, and where they can contact and stay in contact with all of
you and all the spectacular things that you do.
Okay, as always, the young lady who you introduced me to, and I've been with my sister since then for years and years, Lori Francois, Arts with Lori, is presenting Plays with Plays and Author Night, and also she's highlighting some dancers tonight here at, we're at 311 West, and we're out here at in Harlem, and this is the New York American French Charter School. And basically, I just found out this is a free school. This is a free public school. And Lori put this whole play together with King Lear, with the students by herself. And I believe they're getting ready to start right now. So you know what? Let's see if we can try and hop in and see what's going on.
Good evening. My name is Michael Vasallo, and I'm an author. Actually, a first-time author as of October, when I first got published. I'm from Long Island, New York, which is maybe about an hour away, maybe a little more, a little less, but I found out about Lori's event through my boss, who was kind enough to try to help me with some networking events. So I looked into this and went online and registered, and last week we had a kind of a meet and greet on Zoom, which went really well. So tonight what I hope to accomplish is, this is actually my second author event. And there's actually a much bigger turnout, which is encouraging. But what I'm hoping to accomplish is getting the name out more and getting the book into more hands, but at least starting out with maybe getting more of an interest.
So NIFAX is truly a gem. It is a special thing to be a part of and to watch our students grow. To see students who have no family members that speak French at home and they leave being valedictorians. I'm talking about valedictorians. It has blown my mind.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nikisha Hammond, psychologist, author, and speaker. I'm super excited to be here. I heard about Lori's event through Eventbrite because I was at another event in New York City. I am from the Tampa Bay area of Florida, and tonight I'm just really excited to have an opportunity to share more about my mindset training book series and how we can all work on continuing to thrive mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Gentlemen, we are back for our final round for this evening. We promised that the Grand Architect Aladdin that we will return for our next episode. But right now, we want to close this out by hitting the facts hard and actually asking, what can we do with a proper mindset to help today's civilization?
So I know that we all blame the orange man that runs our country. Okay, we all do, but we can't put it all on him. We also have to put it on his administration team,
advisors.
Yes, his advisors, the ones that he chose that don't know a damn thing. What the hell they doing? None. They don't have a clue. And I've seen I watch a lot of YouTube shorts of how they all, where they're in there being asked certain questions and they don't have the answer to any of it. They don't even have any statistics. They don't have any facts. They don't have any status, nothing. They don't have nothing to show what it is that they know. They don't even know the Constitution. They don't even know the law. They don't know anything whatsoever. And yet he chose them to actually be able to function the departments that he put them in.
The yes men and yes women. Go ahead,
and then adding to that, that takes away power, because when you're not fully educated based on what's going on, then it'd be he say, she say, this, that, and the third, and nothing's gonna get anywhere over the course of time. And then with that being said, that's too much irrationality. And back to today's topic, then no one would be sincere with themselves because they're just going by.
Where it was statewide.
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Cisco that question because I never got a response from you on what is your opinion about starting from the local level, right, community, and expanding out to the city and then nationally. How would you go about that?
Well, starting on the local level, you first need to know so who's your team, who's involved, know the positions, and know how to run. So like even back here in Waterbury, gotta know who's the delegation, who's in what position, and then once it's like running a restaurant, who's the chef, who's the waiter, and everybody has the positions. Once you know how to run the foundation, then you expand and go beyond. But if you don't know how to structureize, how to put everybody in their place, then you know how to run a village. Back to it takes a village to raise a child. If you don't know how to structureize the team in order to run it at the city, then you can't run the state and you can't run the country. And you can't expand because you got to start from the bottom, and then before you get here, you got to know how to start the foundation in order to expand. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart, and again, it's going to be chaos and anarchy. No structure, and everybody will be everywhere.
So what you're saying is bottom line is structure.
Yeah, structure and discipline.
Discipline
Absolutely.
is a hellified word.
Absolutely.
Right? All right. So with that being said, in closing, is there anything you guys would like to leave with the beautiful people that tune in to us tonight?
I say you guys got to watch and pay attention to how all administration advisors and what they do and how they are being asked certain questions. Pay attention to what they say and what they do, because when they answer these questions, they're not coming up with the right answers. They're coming up with answers that makes them look stupid, makes them look idiotic.
And to add to that, point being, so I always tell people, you don't know everything, so go based off what you know. Hear people out, and then do your research and understand for yourself, because that's how you formulate an accurate opinion, going back to irrational, and that's how you be sincere and be honest with yourself. And then you'll have integrity, and that gives yourself power, because knowledge is power, instead of going by he say, she say. Hear people out, because you don't know everything, but then do your own research, and that's how you get educated, and then you'll be able to run the country. Otherwise, it's going to be anarchy. So always educate yourself.
All right, we're going to reiterate the fact of two key words, structure and discipline, right? And knowing, like he says, that, you know, you have to have an advisory board when you're running such a thing as America, right? It's bigger than any other corporation right now. And the thing is that we firmly believe that talk is cheap, action takes the street. So therefore, learn, folks. Read and get involved, because that's what the problem is. You're not getting involved.
And actions speak louder than words. So if you care, do something about it.
And pardon, we say success awaits us. Keep it coming, folks.
Bless
Two-tone and L-E-L-N-E-S-S-N. Yes, we are the very best.
$7 popping collars, eating shrimp, $5 met some girls in Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they would have